Imagine you could convince someone to give you one extra minute of their day. How much would that minute be worth? For some of the world's largest technology companies, the answer is billions of dollars. And understanding why reveals something fundamental about how the digital economy actually works. Welcome to the Thinking Economist. Every business in the world is built around a scarce resource. Oil companies compete for reserves. Retailers compete for foot traffic. Banks compete for deposits. In the digital economy, the scarce resource that the most valuable companies in the world compete for is human attention. There are only 24 hours in a day. Every minute you spend on one platform is a minute you are not spending on another. That makes your time genuinely finite, genuinely valuable, and genuinely worth competing for. But here is where it gets interesting. Companies don't just want your attention once. They want it continuously, repeatedly, and for as long as possible. And the reason is straightforward. In the advertising model that powers most digital platforms, revenue is directly proportional to engagement. More time on platform means more advertisements seen. More advertisements seen means more revenue generated. The incentive to keep you scrolling is not incidental to the business model. It is the business model. So how do companies actually do it? How do they convert a product that you could close at any moment into something that holds your attention for hours? The answer lies in a set of interlocking mechanisms, each designed around a precise understanding of human behavior and economic incentives. The first mechanism is the feedback loop between data and recommendations. Every action you take on a platform generates information. Every video you watch to completion, every post you pause on, every link you click tells the platform something about what you find engaging. That information is fed into recommendation algorithms whose sole objective is to predict what you will engage with next. The more you use the platform, the more data it has. The more data it has, the more accurately it can predict your behavior. The more accurately it predicts your behavior, the more effectively it can surface content that keeps you engaged. And the more engaged you are, the more data you generate. This is a self-reinforcing cycle, and it is one of the most powerful economic engines ever built into a consumer product. This connects to a concept economists call network effects. A network effect exists when a product becomes more valuable as more people use it. In the context of recommendation systems, the network effect operates at the level of data. A platform with 1 million users has a reasonable picture of what kinds of content people engage with. A platform with 1 billion users has an extraordinarily precise picture. It can identify patterns of behavior so specific that it can predict not just what category of content you like, but which specific video posted by which specific creator at which specific moment in your session is most likely to keep you watching. That level of precision is only possible at massive scale, which is one of the reasons the largest platforms have such durable competitive advantages over smaller ones. The second mechanism is interface design. The physical structure of a platform, the way it looks and feels and responds to your touch, is not aesthetic. It is economic. Every design decision is evaluated against a single question. Does this increase engagement? The infinite scroll is the most obvious example. Traditionally, content was paginated. You reached the end of a page, and stopping felt natural. Infinite scroll eliminates that natural endpoint. The content never runs out. The decision to stop must be actively made, which is a much harder cognitive task than simply arriving at a natural conclusion. Removing stopping points is not a design choice. It is a revenue decision. Autoplay works on the same principle. When one video ends and the next begins automatically, the default is continued engagement. Opting out requires an active decision, and in the economics of attention, defaults are enormously powerful. People disproportionately stick with whatever the default option is, whether that is a pre-selected subscription plan, a pre-ticked checkbox, or a video that starts playing before you have consciously decided to watch it. Platforms set their defaults to maximize engagement because engagement is what generates revenue. The third mechanism is notifications. On the surface, notifications look like a service. They tell you when something relevant has happened, but their economic function is re-engagement. Every time you close an app and put your phone down, you represent lost revenue. Notifications are the mechanism companies use to pull you back. They are carefully calibrated to feel relevant and timely, creating a sense that something is happening that requires your attention right now. The economic goal is to minimize the time between sessions and maximize the number of times per day you open the app. What makes notifications particularly effective is the psychological principle they exploit: variable reward. Sometimes a notification contains something genuinely interesting. Sometimes it doesn't. But because you never know which it will be until you check, your brain learns to respond to the notification alert with anticipation. This is the same mechanism that makes certain games compelling. The unpredictable reward is more motivating than the predictable one. Platforms have effectively built this principle into the architecture of how they communicate with users, because a user who checks their phone 15 times a day generates more revenue than one who checks it 5 times. The fourth mechanism is social validation. Likes, comments, shares, and follower counts are not just social features. They are economic tools. When your post receives engagement, you receive a signal that your participation in the platform is valued. That signal is motivating. It brings you back to post again, to check how your content is performing, to engage with others in hopes of reciprocal engagement. The social layer of a platform is what transforms passive consumption into active participation, and active participants generate significantly more data and engagement than passive ones. For creators specifically, this creates a powerful economic incentive to keep producing content. The platform benefits every time a creator posts, because new content attracts viewers, and viewers generate advertising revenue. So platforms design their creator incentive systems, monetization thresholds, algorithmic promotion, analytics dashboards, to encourage consistent, high-volume content production. The creator's incentive to build an audience aligns perfectly with the platform's incentive to maximize content supply. Both parties benefit from more content, more frequently. Now consider what artificial intelligence adds to all of this. Recommendation algorithms have existed for decades, but AI has made them dramatically more powerful. Modern AI systems can process signals of engagement at a scale and speed that was previously impossible, identifying patterns across billions of interactions and updating their predictions in real time. The result is a recommendation engine that gets better at predicting your behavior the more you use it, and that can personalize your experience at an individual level, rather than just targeting broad demographic categories. This is why two people using the same platform can have completely different experiences of it. The algorithm has built a precise model of each individual's engagement patterns and serves content accordingly. The economic implication of this is significant. As AI-driven recommendations become more accurate, the gap between platforms that have them and platforms that don't widens. A platform with superior AI can hold attention more effectively, generate more engagement, collect more data, and use that data to further improve its recommendations. This creates a compounding advantage that makes the largest, most data-rich platforms increasingly dominant over time. Put all of these mechanisms together, and what you have is not a collection of separate features. You have an integrated economic system, every component of which is designed to maximize the amount of time you spend on the platform, because time spent is the input that generates revenue. The feedback loop between data and recommendations makes the product more compelling the more you use it. The interface design removes friction from continued engagement and adds friction to stopping. The notification system minimizes the time you spend away. The social layer gives you personal reasons to keep participating, and AI makes the entire system more effective over time. Understanding this doesn't require you to stop using these platforms or to view them with hostility. They provide real value, connection, entertainment, information, and tools that genuinely improve people's lives. But it does mean understanding the economic relationship you are in when you use them. You are not simply a user. You are the source of the resource the entire system runs on. Every scroll, every pause, every click is both your experience of the product and your contribution to the economic engine that powers it. In the digital economy, your attention isn't just something you give away freely. It is something companies invest billions of dollars to earn, to hold, and to convert into revenue. The mechanisms they use to do that are not accidental. They are the product of enormous investment in understanding human behavior, and they are working exactly as designed. If this video changed how you think about the platforms you use every day, watch our video on why your attention is worth billions. It goes deeper into the economics of the attention economy itself, explaining why human attention became one of the most valuable resources in the digital age and what that means for the companies built around it. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to The Thinking Economist, and feel free to share any questions, feedback, or topic suggestions in the comments section. We'll see you in the next one.